Good afternoon, y'all. I hope that you guys have been staying warm. Man, it is crazy. My friends have been showing me pictures. I've been seeing it on social media where it's just completely shut down. As you know, my kids are having fun. They were sledding. We have a little slope in the back of our driveway. So and plus it like goes into an alley. And so really safe. They've been doing that all morning. So they've been living their best life. So yeah, it enables me to get a lot of work done up here and do the podcast, kind of really get everything together. I've got literally, if my head, as you know, was not screwed onto my neck, I would be playing soccer with it. If I don't put things on my to-do list, it will never get done. And then every time I complete something off of my to-do list, five more things get put on. It is what it is. But that's how it is, as you know, single mom, and running your own business, being a dentist, being a professional, and then all the other stuff that I do. I'm trying to get involved in this year. It's just it is what it is. But like I said, just having some me time to just relax. Kids are home with our live-in nanny, and she's also my RDA. I've known her since she was literally 10 years old. I did her braces, and so this high. And then she moved, she didn't move away, but she went and worked for Jefferson when she got her RDA. And of course, when she found out I was looking this past like April, May, came to me, and I'm like, of course, I've known her whole family have come to me, and and so now she's my RDA during the day, but in the evening she helps me pick up the kids, take care of them when I go out of town, because I'm always going out of town, on business. And so just having that extra help, and I don't see her as hired help. I definitely see her as like someone that I entrust my own family with, but also at work. She's so work ethics wise. I couldn't ask for more. So shout out to you, Ellie, and thank you for watching the kids. I will be home as soon as the roads are safe too. I heard that it's really, really bad, and being up here, going up I think it's like 35 to get up to Windstar, even though it's like only essentially, well, when I drive, it's a 50-minute ride, but I heard the roads are just all shut down. So hopefully, I think that we're done with the rain, with the snow, but at the same time, it depends on like what happens, right? If the temperature rises, then that's the fear that, because when I was playing with the snow, it was icy already. Just tenacious ice. It wasn't that soft stuff I'm used to. So my fear, and I saw pictures of people like on the roads just skidding everywhere, and especially on the bypasses back at home at the DFW. It's probably a crap show over there. But how y'all doing? So I'm not doing live today, just because to be honest with you, I want to watch the games. Big football fan. I when I came to the US back in '99, and I in Milwaukee, because what else is there to do? I discovered American football, and I love it. The offense, the defense, but it's all like a strategy. It's all about like a golf game. So I absolutely fell in love with it. Became a Packers fan. Back then it was Brett Favre. Of course, when I was in dental school, Aaron Rodgers took us to the Super Bowl, and I love. For a rookie, essentially, last few years, he's going far. He's got one hell of an armor with him. I think he just needs to work on his, just having the experience to not freak out when he's getting blitzed, things like that, and also, running, just throwing those 6 picks every time he gets rushed. So he will work on it. But like I said, essentially he's a rookie, and he's taken us way further than Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers, which are question. I don't like them very much, but like. It's taken us really far in terms of like how long he's been. He's going to be a Hall of Famer for sure. So shout out to the Packers, go Pack, go. Although now I'm a bandwagon jumper, so it's go Hawks, go. So yeah, I think that yesterday I had a lot of fun, and I got such great feedback from you guys as far as like the funny stories of online dating apps, right? I have so much material, and then y'all have given me so much material, over the years, but also like even yesterday y'all DM'd me. So let's get into that. Again, I'll introduce you to my bestie, Pete. Again, he's he's not camera shy, but he's not he doesn't feel ready. We're we're wearing not clothes that we should be. We're working with what we had. So Pete, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm just waiting for this game to start in about 30 minutes or so. And yeah, I am a Seahawks fan for sure.
Why are you a Seahawks fan though? Aren't you from
So
Washington?
I am from the West Coast, and I grew up out there, and there was always your traditional teams, before the Raiders left, etc. And so I just have always been a fan because they were for the first 25 years never won anything, and they just never had anything, and so they got good in the early 2000s, and then the teens everybody knows, and now they're back. So it's pretty impressive how they did a full uh, I guess makeover on their whole team, got rid of their key players, key coaches, etc., and now they're right back. So the rebuild has been incredible, so I'm really excited for that, and I'm hoping that they do go to the Super Bowl and win.
I think that with the Seahawks and a couple of other NFL teams, it's really about the core. It's not about signing on a franchise player, spending hundreds of millions of dollars like the Cowboys. No offense, cowgirl fans, but like to me, it's just you can only and being a Packers fan, right? Where they're not afraid to let a player that's gonna what happened with Rodgers, where he was trying to get traded. He thought that he was being replaced and all that. I mean, those prima donnas, they're not scared to remove that salary cap. They're not scared to essentially get the rookies out of college and then nurture that talent. So, and I think that with the Seahawks, same thing, right? Not the Cowboys. I mean, I'll never be a Cowboys fan. I'll never be a Maverick. I mean, Mavericks I like back in the day when Mark Cuban, back in the day, the trio, what were they name again? Um, um, oh my gosh, I can't think. Really tall guy. Super
Nowitzki, Dirk Nowitzki,
yeah, I mean, he was
phenomenal.
freaking phenomenal. Parker, and then the one guy, Ginobili, that went off the bench and just would score like 30 points. And he was so dirty, right? And as when you were playing against, he's one of those players where when you play against him, you hate him so bad, but you just love him on your team because he's a hustler. He's not afraid to put his body. A lot of players are scared of getting injured. So anyway, enough about ball games. Let's go back to let's talk more about dating apps. And yesterday we touched on catfishing, as well as the inundating, especially from a female's perspective, and some of these guys, it's hilarious because they'll send me, I don't even know how we match, or they just reach out to me, whatever that looks like, but so they'll reach out to me and they'll send me essays, and I'm like, I'm not about to be reading no essay. I don't know if y'all seen those profile introducing them, and they'll write essays about what their lives, what their expectations are, and then or the criteria, right? If you are not a 9 out of 10, next. Or if you're not this, if you're not easygoing, if you don't cook, next. And I'm like, really? You're trying to sell yourself, and half the time you have a checklist a mile long of your criteria. And I'm supposed to read this, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the one that I want to reach out to. So anyway, so they'll send me novels, right? Whatever that's, and then I'll ignore, a lot of time left unread. And then they'll keep going, and this will go on for like weeks. And I'm not, mean, and I'm not going to block you unless it gets absolutely ridiculous, right? And then they start getting aggressive, and then I'll get messages like, who the hell do you think you are not responding to me? Who the hell? And that's when I do respond. I'm like, listen, the fact that I didn't respond to you should tell you everything that you need to know. And then now you're getting upset and almost aggressive and borderline stalker that I'm not responding to you, because read the room, right? And that, now you want me to respond. And now when you get upset at me, and we've never even talked a day. Like, I don't even know, I don't remember your profile, I don't even know how we matched. And now you're getting upset at me. That's not giving me, then that's when I block. After I tell them, you know what, this is not how you do it. And if I'm even entertaining talking to you, how bad could it be if you are getting upset with me after I don't read your essays for months or weeks, I'm sorry, And my God, but like, and then I'll get people that are like, so what are your hobbies? Have you heard that? Where they'll ask you just like, what are you looking for in this app? What are your hobbies? What is it? You know, what's the end game for you? Have you ever had that people ask you that?
Yeah, I mean, I think some people either have a lack of things to ask, so they ask the standard questions, or they just don't necessarily know how to communicate on the app or in person. Because if they
Probably
can't,
even
if they
worse,
can't,
yeah.
if those are those replies on the app, imagine what they're like in person.
I'm like, ask me a substantive question. You know what I mean? And half the time I'll respond like, what is it that you're looking for in this app? And I'm like, um, I'll make fun of it. I'm like, you know, I'm talking to random strangers online. Um, I don't think that finding my soulmate is really on the agenda. Now I'm not ruling it out. I've had it where you know, or they'll ask me, uh, what do you do? And on my profile, I think that they have it where I'm a professional. It doesn't say what, you know. And I'm like, really? Obviously, you didn't read my profile. You're just going by my, you know, whatever is on my profile picture, right? What is it you do? So I'll just mess with it. I'm like, you know what? I am a, when I tell my friends this, or even people I meet in the crack up, I am a third shift janitor and resident at the local loony bin. And then they'll be like, really? Really? They don't banter back. They don't get my dark humor. Or the other one, I'll be like, well, you know, I'm kind of in between work right now, so I have a lot of time. I can't even say this without cracking up. I have a lot of time, so I'm on the internet all day trolling, looking for my next ex and my sugar daddy. Because obviously, if I was a gold digger, that's exactly what I'm gonna tell them, right? Anyway, so they'll be like, the amount of people I've gotten like, you what? I've been there, done that. I'm not all about that. Next, you know, instead of laughing, LOL, oh, you're so funny, you know, because obviously, well, maybe it's not obvious. I don't know. What do I know? I'll share a funny story with you. Y'all appreciate this. So I have people from all age because I don't really put like an age limit. I do put like certain educations because I think that does mean a lot to me, or height. I think I like tall. I like a certain height. But other than that, I don't put criteria. I had a 20-year-old message me. Not sure how we, again, 20 years old, barely legal. Anyway, so he messaged me and he asked me, hey, are you into younger men? So now I'm just curious, right? Because again, 20 years old. And I said, okay, where are you going with this? And then he said, oh, because I want to offer you an older, attractive woman. My V card. So I'm like, you know, being a Gen X, I have no, you know, there's a lot of like slang terms. I've never heard of the term before. So I'm like, okay, you have to tell me what exactly is a V card. Is that some sort of slang? I mean, you know, is that offering dinner? Is that offering a present? What is that? You know, what is that? Do I have to Google that business? Do I have to Google this crap? And so then he hits me back and he's like, well, a V card is my virginity. I'm not taking this seriously at this point. I'm like, LOL, you are too funny. And then he, like, one of those messages, I think it's like, you know, when you can record your, like, a voice message, but it's like a message. It's not like you're talking anyway. So he's like, no, I'm serious. I'm looking for an older, attractive woman to offer my virginity. And he was all like, that I was laughing. I LOL'd it. Right? He's like, no. He almost sounded like he was going to cry. He's like, you don't want it? I'm thinking that it's one of those shows, you know, like, I'm waiting for like Candid Camera to come out and just like, ha ha ha, you know? And again, I'm really sorry, but like, you're being funny, right? I'm getting messed with. Who is this really? Is this one of my friends that put you up to it? Because who does that? But apparently, didn't you tell me yesterday that it was a fad about like 10 years ago in Europe?
Yeah, there was a phase where people would do that, and there was actually some older European ladies who would pay for that experience. So I mean, anything goes, right?
When you say experience, literally, someone would pay, because I know back in the olden days, right? Like, especially in Japan, with the geishas and all that. Like, these men, and even nowadays, I'm pretty sure it goes on behind the scenes, where they would offer good money for a woman or a girl's virginity, right? I mean, it's atrocious if you ask me, because to them it's a virtual. But like, and there's women out there, and oh my god, I'm not gonna name any names. So anyway, she was in her 30s, right? And she would tell men that she was a virgin, and would string these multiple men along. She was not a virgin, and using her virtual, saying, I'm not going to give you my virginity or sleep with you. She did everything else though, everything else except for intercourse. Okay. Yet she said, I want to be married if I want you to get, and she was in her 30s, right? Turns out she was not. She was not a virgin at all. And I'm just like, that is not the definition to me of being a virgin. If you're doing everything but, you are not a virgin by definition. Just because the hymen, you break that, whatever, that is not virginity. Okay, but what do I know? Have you had anyone offer you their V card?
No, I haven't had the V card offered, but I've probably had some elderly women ask for someone to accompany them or be around them or just keep them company.
In exchange for time or
just
or money?
time and dates and being out and having someone personally there.
Now, what's the oldest? I mean, just curious. Like, are you talking about? Because you're
67.
You're. I mean, back in the. I mean, you're about to be 51, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, when you were being offered this, because you don't look your age, right? You never have. And so, I mean, and I'm pretty sure, does your profile say what age you are?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's mandatory in a majority of those where they double check the age. Now, there are ways around it. People set up, obviously fake profiles. But
yeah.
No, I mean, I think I was in my early 40s, and then that was 67 or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That is
Yeah.
mind-blowing to me.
Yeah, but anything goes on there. It's, people come out with all kinds of different situations and scenarios, etc. But I do agree with you in terms of how people will send something over like a PDF and expect you to read it, and when you don't get back to them, they get upset, or that you didn't accept it and that you're automatically in and now you're dating.
Because they reached out to you, they automatically assume that now you are, what's a good way of
that you're locked in with them.
Locked in with them.
Yeah, that
wow.
Since they took the time or they did this or they shared that it's your responsibility to share everything back of what you want, and just basing that off of a profile picture, etc. When everybody who's been on dating apps for more than a month or two have had a situation where they've either been catfished, or it's a bot, or it's a scam, or something like that. So individuals who send those types of PDFs or requirements and don't get anything back, it shouldn't be a surprise, because people do get jaded after being on dating apps. So that leads me to a question. For you, what is your biggest ick about a dating app?
Oh,
I know there's probably several, but what
many.
is the biggest thing that when someone contacts you outside of a picture,
I got
immediately,
really,
what
okay,
is yours?
Okay, let's go back to the pictures for a second. If I come across your profile, or you reach out to me and I'm checking out your profile, and every single picture of you is flexing at the gym, half naked, where you look like Gaston. I mean, that's defining you, isn't it? Tell me you don't have any substance without telling me you don't have any substance. And it's like, I mean, I don't mind like one or two pictures to show that you're athletic. I'm all about that. Again, women are visual too. But if every single one of your profile is a different angle of when your boobs are bigger than mine, that's one big ick. And again, or the criteria, if I even take the time out to, usually I don't, but if I did take the time out to read the profile, and it's like what they want from a woman, and if they're, if that's not the case, swipe. So what do? I swipe. And of course, just very aggressive men that don't understand when I'm not responding back, and then to get upset. I mean, I think that's the biggest ick. But yeah, but the did you forget leg day? Gaston style. I hate that. I talk back to like profile pictures. So my girlfriend said to me, okay, what we're going to do is this is how we weed out. If you most of your pictures are going to be like, you know, you doing, you know, really representing what you are, whether if you're with your friends, if you do hobbies, things like that, you know, if you travel, have those, but then have a couple of thirst pics. And when I say thirst pics, I mean thirst pics. And if they reach back to you, because I think on Facebook dating, they can say something about your specifically they can if they comment on one of your profile pictures, it will come to you as a message, right? If they only comment on those thirst pics, next, because really you're not it's about the physical. I already know you're just trying to get in my pants, right? You're not and again, I don't even know what's on my I don't even know truly what's on my profile, I swear to you. But and that's how my girlfriend's like, that's how you weed out all the people who are just in it for, you know, for the sexual, for, you know, casual one night stands, and I'm not about that. And so so yeah, that's a good weeding tool. The other one I think you had touched on yesterday, Pete, was if they don't offer their telephone number, if they have reservations about video chatting, or if they can only go on at certain times of day when they talk to you, or I think the WhatsApp one is the biggest one for me that I've learned, my friends have told me. Like, if they won't provide a true number, and even then, even if they're in a relationship, there's ways to delete it. But I think what the WhatsApp is that it's, they call it the cheating app, because it's, or Snapchat, right? Disappearing. But WhatsApp, because it's no paper trail. So if they're with a partner, and especially if they're married, the partner cannot go in and check to see, you know, the records of them, who they're talking to, that sort of thing. So that's a big clue, as well as what I think I touched on yesterday. Make sure that you, at the very least, you know, get on the phone with them, video chat, and even then with the video chat, didn't you talk about that those could still be not photoshopped?
Yeah, there's third-party apps that you can put filters on FaceTime, so that is also available.
Now, like in hindsight, would you say that it was pretty obvious? Or is that, you know, something that you can look out for, or is that something that definitely, like, if it's really, really obvious, like, is it, because, you know.
No, it's not. I mean, I feel
it's
like
not?
it's, no, technology is such that there's so many ways to do it. It's just like when you get on Instagram, TikTok, or any other social media platform outside of dating, you can, sometimes it's hard to tell if that's a filter.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think for me, when I look at pictures, I can tell which ones are filtered. Like, it's pretty obvious, or photoshopped, right? You can see the warped background, you know, and then if you look at different pictures where they look different, that's usually, but you're saying that those things are so good that sometimes it can be fooled.
Yeah, you can definitely be fooled. But I think also too, maybe when you're on those calls or when you're doing things, you're kind of fitting them in around your schedule, so you may not be paying as much attention. You just are glad that the person, from what you corresponded with, is real and has, you know, that you're engaging with them, and that they're, I guess, down to do a video chat prior to meeting. It's the ones that say, no, I don't do that, or hey, I don't have time for that, or let's just meet and do this, and that's an automatic no.
Now, you had touched on it yesterday, where you said that a lot of times you will go on their social, or ask them for their social media. So then you can truly see if they are who they are. Now, again, I've seen it so many times on, especially Instagram, where obviously this is not the same person. I mean, when you're, you know, a woman's figure, right? It's based on, it's proportionate. Like, if you're bigger, I mean, you're going to be voluptuous. Whereas if you're like an Asian like me, we look like 12-year-old boys. It is what it is, but it's all proportionate, right? And so when I see pictures of Instagram, usually the Instagram models that, like, their waist is this small, but they have the Jessica Rabbit, like, their boobs are out here, their butt is like this, you know, and then I've had guy friends that are like, no, that's really them, and I'm laughing. I'm like, you know, that's a filter, right? And then they're like, no. I've seen pictures of her every day working out for hours. I mean, she grew that butt in the gym. I mean, that's a real butt. And I'm like, yeah, you do realize that that's a real life filter. It's called Columbia BBL style, right? Basically, if you can stand and balance the glass of wine on her butt, and then her waist is this small, and then her boobs are out there. That's not real. I'm sorry, but, like, I mean, there are exceptions, right? I mean, there definitely are. But in general, that's not the case. But like, I think that men just get so wrapped up in, and you know, women too, who am I gonna lie, in the physical, that they want to believe that's real, right? I've had plastic surgeon friends where they laugh, you know, they tell me that, man, these girls where I just did you know, full you know, the BBL is when you take fat from everywhere else that you want, and then you put it in your buttocks, you take it away, so you create that sculpted look. Or even nowadays they even put it in the boobs. Before it was like silicone, right? And they're laughing at these girls, because they're like, they post pictures of, you know, after they've had this mummy makeover, after they've had the BBL, the whole thing, and then they insinuating that this is true. And these, you know, my plastic surgeon friends are like, they're laughing at home. It's like, no, I just did all of the work last year. What's your take on that, as far as like the physical, you know, when you go on and you do see them on Instagram, does that entice you? Does it matter if that Jessica Rabbit body is not real to you?
If it's not real, in
Like,
terms of, is it
you
post-surgery,
obviously
and
it's not. Correct.
they pay to get that?
Correct.
I mean, I think that it was a fad for a while, and I think that it depends on the person too, because the man who was looking for the woman, are they into that, or do they look at it as in she's paying to make her body this way, or is she looking more of an image, or is she really have is it a connection that's more than just skin deep? Is it just pure physical? Because there's obviously two types that get on the dating apps, for hookups or for physical,
Yeah.
and then there's the other who are actually looking for either a friend, emotional, or a possible relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that the ones on Facebook and some of those that put their links for the social media are more, they're more
Growing
real.
up.
Yeah, and they're more prone for people to look or engage with them, because when you just come up on a profile and there's 2 pictures or 3 pictures and not much information, then where do you go from there? But when someone adds their social media on there and you have a chance to look at it and see them in their own element with their friends or at work or their hobbies, etc., then that's definitely a bonus. But I don't know, everybody has their preference in terms of body styles, etc., but I do believe that a majority of, and I speak for maybe a majority of men, that they're looking at the initial profile pictures, like you said. They will swipe and match with you and then ask you, well, what do you do, or what is this? And if you scroll down and look at some of their profile pictures that are posted, you'll see some of their personality or what they do or the things that they like to do. And one thing that kills me every single time is, and this is for men and women, is you scroll 2 or 3 pictures down and they're holding a fish, and they have this big, you know, it's insane how Texas has that, where I've never been around that. I've never seen it. I've never, like, the 3rd or 4th picture of someone in California or Florida or somewhere else is on the beach or doing something. These people are holding up a big fish. So
or a deer, or a deer's head.
Yeah, it just amazes me. But I get it. You know, everybody is in a certain part of the country has their own thing. But
or AK-47. Have you seen
Sure.
the women that hold the AK-47s up?
Sure, yeah.
Man, that's scary to me. Being from England, you know, I'm not used to guns, so the gun fad here, I mean, I get it. A lot of my friends hunt. It is what it is. But like, man, it's something else. And anyway, but yeah, I know, I hear what you're saying about, like, and it's not for me, but I don't, you know, no judgment to you. If you want to enhance what you have, because we all do it at some level, right, Pete? I mean, even a woman, right? Makeup, you know, their hair. I mean, you're enhancing. I mean, now you're taking it to the extreme, but no judgment here, right? And I feel like my only thing is, like, own it, because if you know, don't portray yourself to be and then say that it wasn't paid for. You know, I have friends that, like, they are, you know, and in being in the Vietnamese community or in the Asian community, like, it's a big deal, but also Latin too, I think that's a big thing. But, like, you know, they get a lot of work done. Either they go to Colombia. I've had a lot of people who I've had to fix a lot of work from Colombia, veneers, things like that. But anyway, again, I don't judge, right? It is what it is. Now, if you want to go and get, like, for me, veneers is like a 6-month commitment. I charge a lot for them, but because there's a reason for that. I want to make sure I temporize you. It's not just a process where you can go to, especially like Turkey or Korea, or Colombia, and get these veneer done one and done, and there's a reason why you're paying what you're paying. But who am I to judge? But like, just own it. Don't be like, oh no, these are my teeth, or don't be like, this is my body. I have one of my girlfriends, shout out to Jill, and and again, being Asian, we're all very, very flat, and she literally grew nice round bubble, curvaceous body at the gym, and she owns it, and she's proud of it. She's on social media showing people how to do it, and I love that, because that's like a woman's woman. That's not trying to portray something and just say, hey, this was natural, this was God's gift, right? So again, I don't judge, but like, I just don't like that you are essentially catfishing, wouldn't you say, at a level of when you're putting all that stuff on or even if you meet in person and then they try to tell you that it's all real. That to me is the ultimate catfish, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that is a catfish.
Right?
That is.
And I think most men can see through it, whether they decide to or ignore it or be in denial. That's a different thing. But I think it's so obvious. Like, if you have a certain body type, that's what you are. You're not going to have that voluptuous body. Now, are there exceptions? Sure. But like I said, if I'm balancing a drink on your backside, more than likely, you went the Kim Kardashian route. Let's just be real about that. But own it. There's nothing wrong with it. We all enhance. And then, for me, it's like, and I talk to my friends about this all the time. I feel like in the, and I don't know what your take is this on it, P. I think we've touched on it too. It's like with social media, with Instagram, it's all about the physical. And to me, it's just too much emphasis on that. Nowadays, I feel like everyone or most people can fake the physical, whether it be a filter or even in real life, the epitome of a filter real life. Everyone can go to the gym and sculpt a body if you work hard enough, right? Wear a complimentary outfit. There are people on there, men and women, where once they've contoured their face, I mean, it's like an art, right? 5 hours of contouring, you don't even look the same. Fake hair, fake lashes. Again, I'm not, I've got extensions in. I mean, I'm just, own it. Say that you are, and then is that the same person that you went to sleep with in the morning, right? That's the only issue with that. And then what about the other stuff? What about the substance? What about the connection? Because you're going to have that physical chemistry. Like I said, 5 hours of contouring, anyone can look attractive, right? But what about everything else? What about the intelligent conversation? For me, it's all about banter. For me, it's about intelligent conversation, the emotional connection, and then of course the physical. I'm a very physical person, but like, that's just one of many things. And I think that when you are too hyper focused on that one physical, about showing yourself off to be, are you overcompensating? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of, on both sides, men and women, do things to either hide insecurity or try to overcompensate so that something else doesn't come up, or that it doesn't touch on us, or doesn't go to a touchy subject of them. So, but again, there are trends, there are fads. I know that, like you mentioned, Kim Kardashian, where that is a fad, and it may still be one. But I feel like in the last year or two that the BBLs and the big lips and the bigger eyelashes and all that, I feel like that is starting to fade. And with guys, again, and I say this, guys can get hair, guys can get certain things done. So it's pretty hypocritical of a guy to say, well, I don't like a woman who does that, but I got a hair transplant, or I get plastic surgery, or I get this. So it's a real tough balance to walk. But ever since Instagram and those platforms have come out, I think it's changed the dating game. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people don't have the time to go out and meet people organically. And so they say, okay, well, I'm a professional, or I'm this, or I'm that, and so I'm going to save time and get on there. But at the same time that they do that, they run a risk of so many other things, or being catfished, or being with someone who is married, or something comes out later, etc. So it's a tough balance, but I do agree with what you said yesterday, where you can meet people and you can meet friends, you can meet people that you go out with that maybe initially there was an attraction, but it just isn't going to work out. But you can network, there's business, you can be friends, or you can say, hey, I have a single friend that I believe is probably somebody that you would really like. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of opportunities, but at the same time, you have to be really careful.
And I think, I mean, segueing over, and I think we'll have to do several episodes about that. And I've talked to my friends about this before. Like, when you date, there is a teeter totter, right? So if you're like a 7, you will tend to date a 7. And then there's all these other factors that will dictate what your number is, right? I mean, I know it's very shallow, but it is what it is. And hear me out for a second. So like for me, I definitely am a visual person, but for me, it's all the other things. Are you smart? One of the biggest attractiveness in a guy is if they're funny. Man, that just gets me going every time. So like for me, you could be a 5, right? But if you are funny, if you can make me laugh. Now, when I say laugh, because I love to laugh, right? And I think I'm pretty funny. On Wednesdays, maybe not on the rest of the week, but Wednesdays. But like if you can make me laugh, like just die rolling around laughing till I can't breathe, you are elevated to a 10, right? And unfortunately too, the same with like a guy who's like a 2 look wise, but then he has FU money. Now all of a sudden he's elevated to like a 9 because now he can date and pick up a young 9 or 10 as arm candy, knowing full well that that's all she wants. But then she's not really a 9 because the fact that she's only with him for his money, because obviously she wouldn't be with him if he didn't have that money. So really it's a 2 dating a 2, because to me, like, you could be a 10, the most attractive person, but if you can't carry on a conversation, if you can't like put string a sentence together, I'm sorry, but you're right down there. To me, it's about the soul connection. It's about your energy when I meet you. Like I tell me and my girlfriends always laugh about it because we go to the bar or we go to I like dancing. I don't actually like go to the bar to pick up guys. It just you're not gonna find your soulmate at the bar. Let's just be real about that. So I like going dancing, and we're all about each other, and but if a guy comes up to me and the first thing he says to me was, wow, you're so, you're the most beautiful being that I've ever seen, blah, blah, blah. Instantly, I know what you're all about. You're just trying to get in my pants. Now, if you come and conversate with me and be respectful and, or make me laugh, you're going to be a lot closer in my, than you are if you come up and give me a compliment about my looks. That means nothing to me. If anything, it just gives me the ick right away. And for me, it's like, interact with me, tell me I'm funny, tell me I'm a goofball, tell me I'm an idiot, but don't compliment my looks, because and don't come up in my grill when I'm just trying to be with my friends. There are plenty of people at the bar looking for that, and we're not it. And my friends they know how I am. I actually get a little irritated, right? Because I'm not all about going to the bar to pick up a man. I don't do that sort of thing. What's your take on that? Like the bar scene, and what does it mean to you? Do you go to the bar or the club looking for your soulmate?
No, definitely not. I mean, I think that's generally known too. Is that if that is what you're going there for, then it's going to be a vicious cycle of nothing's ever going to work out, traumatized, etc. So I think that I'm the same way. I go out with friends and I go out to enjoy myself and have a good time and not look for anyone there. I know a lot of people have met their partners either in airports or at functions or at
or through friends.
Yeah, right? Through friends or at some type of event where they have something in common, and then it goes from there. But to go to the bar to do that and look for it, that's the Instagram of life, in terms of it's basically looking to hook up.
Yeah, and it's really funny. Again, this goes both ways, but like I've noticed, like with guys at the beginning of the night, right, they're hitting on the hot girls, and it's a numbers game for them. My friends always like, it's always easier for women because if you really want to get hook up, you are. Whereas a guy, they could make 20 advances and maybe or may not get what they're going for that night. And as the night goes on, as the liquor's flowing, then the bar or the liquor, the beer goggles get a little bit heavier. Now it's the mediocre, and when I say mediocre, I say that with a caveat because everyone has attracted to different things. I'm just saying in general. By the end of the night, when all the hot girls have gone, or the mediocre girls have gone, now, or guys, now it's just rushing to meet that end goal, right? Now it's like she could have one eye, an extra leg.
Hey, and that actually makes me think of no wonder why they put the third picture on a woman post of her holding a fish. That's the analogy of at the bar. She's like, okay, if everything doesn't work, then I'm here because I can get hooked like a fish. I don't know.
You know what? Worst case is you can take me hunting with you, and I'll be the prey, and you be the
The hunter.
prey. Saying it without saying it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! I mean, just dating in general, but it just cracks me up. I mean, we could talk about this. Where I think I'm going to get wrapped up because like I said, I do want to go watch the game. But just last question for you. So what are, now that you're where you are, because I'm pretty sure as you're younger, attractiveness changes, right? What would you say, like if you had to make like a basic,
PDF.
no, let's not do that. If you had to list like most, in terms of importance, or even have to be, but like if you had to go down a priority list, like what now that you're 51, or just I'm just curious from a guy's perspective, and we'll talk about my list because y'all see my list is pretty extensive on Facebook. But again, it's not about looks; it's all about the other things that drive. It's if you're a good person, if you have a good soul, if you're funny, and man, that just drives me nuts. That just takes your attraction to another level. But talk me through like top 10 list or top 5 list of what you think in this juncture. And you dated a lot, right? You're a handsome man, and what would you say is like the most important, and going down a list of things that you're looking for? I mean, hey, own it. If it's just the attractiveness, own that too.
No,
There's a lot
I
of guys
think,
out there.
yeah,
I mean,
but
physical.
but I also think that as men get older, they start to realize that they don't look as good, or that looks fade, and then it's not that same situation they were when they're in their 30s or 40s. So I think for a lot of people, and especially me, it is not necessarily, I mean, looks have to be there and physical attraction has to be there. But it's not the way it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. Men just at the certain point, especially I think after 45 or 50, and that either have been in a marriage or have had long-term relationships that didn't work out, are looking for peace. And so if that person has the same type of qualities or the same outlook, or has been successful, or understands what work and discipline is and how to achieve a goal and get to, because if you look at it, achieving a goal, whether it be a career, education, etc., that took ups and downs, which is just like a relationship. You're just having a relationship with your university as opposed to having it with a person. So for men, when they get to a certain age, I believe that they just want to have someone who's around, who's compatible with them, and looks fade, because in another 10 years when they're together, they're definitely not going to look like they did.
Yeah. Well, even and again, if you're once you're in a committed, loving relationship, right? That dynamic, the initial lust that gets you together, the sexual chemistry, all of those things that the butterflies and the stuff that I was talking about, that evolves into you like learning to love them as family, right? And then just the whole element of just enjoying, having or not a family together, but just living everyday life, supporting each other, loving each other, inspiring each other, making each other better people, right? I think that's the ideal of like how you come together, is the physical attraction, the other type of attraction too, but then it evolves in a good way or bad. And a lot of times people grow apart because they're so wrapped up in the physical that once that's gone, what's left, right? There's no substance. And I talk about like with me, I always like to again, it's not always been the case, but like I don't love dating because I feel like it's very again, going back to disingenuous, because for the first 6 months to a year, you've got your best foot forward, and you are essentially agreeable. You're not being yourself on both ends, right? Once that honeymoon period has gone, now you revolt to the real you, because you can only keep up that pretense for so long. And now you've already made that emotional commitment, time commitment. You've fallen for each other, but you really didn't fall for them, and they certainly didn't fall for you, because you both put your best foot. Now, is it an enhanced version of yourself? Sure, but there's extremes of that too. And so I think that's why people fall into that trap. For me, I love it where I know someone as a friend, because there's no expectations. There's no reason to be anything but yourself. And I love to see how a person is with their friends, with their family, as well as like, just a service person that they don't benefit from, how they treat that person, how they treat their friends and their family, as well as how their friends and their family love on them, will tell me everything about their soul and them as a person. And now you're getting to know the real them, they're getting to know the real you, and that's how I love to fall in love. What's your take on that?
We're gonna save that for the next podcast.
That's a whole episode and a half, wouldn't you say?
And the game is getting ready to come on.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. Well, gosh, again, thank you so much, and I hope that you guys liked the podcast yesterday, and drop me comments, DM me if you see me in person. Let me know. I would love to hear it. Am I making it too long? Could it be longer? Is the content engaging? I mean, can y'all? I think the most important thing is, can y'all relate? Or even if you can't relate, do you think the content's informative? Is it funny? But yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up. And hey, keep warm, y'all, and enjoy. Like I said, hit me up. Let me know if any. I mean, dating alone, that could be like a whole freaking 2-year thing, right? But drop me comments, DM me, and let me know what content specifically. For over 40s, sex, marriage, divorce. Dating, all of those things. I mean, there's a whole slew of things. Beauty, physical. Let's hit it all. I think that at some point I am gonna be probably in the next couple of days setting up a specific Facebook group. It's going to be called The Game of Life. For over 40, but not necessarily. And I think we're going to try to touch up on everything. I'll put my podcast on there, and that way, join. That way, we're a big community supporting each other. There'll be exclusive content. What do I know after 3 divorces? But I certainly have accumulated a lot of stories, and I'm always a lifelong learner. And so if I can share that knowledge with you all, and if you can share that knowledge with me, I'm always about learning. Because man, dating for me last year was. Got to figure that one out. We got to figure this out, girls and guys. So, but I will let you guys go, get to your game, and again, go Hawks.
Go Seahawks.
Go Hawks, go Hawks. I love you guys. I can't wait to see you when I get back. I can't wait to see. I've got so many events coming up the next few weeks. I'm going to be going back to the UK for business, go see my family. Shout out to Amy. She, as you all know, she is my niece, my 21-year-old niece. She was with me last summer to support me through all the crap that I was going through. And we're besties. And I've never met someone that can finish my sentences and laugh at a level hours. Anyone that's interacted with us, my staff, anyone knows that my niece is my jam. I love her. Shout out to you, Amy. I miss you. I love you so much. I can't wait to see you even if it means that I only see you for a couple of days and I have to fly out to Malta. I'm going to do that, girl, because I love you. I miss you so much. Oh my god, you're my heart, my heart, and my soul. And to all my friends too. I've been up here for a couple of days. I miss my kids like crazy. I'm like, Pete, when is the weather gonna get better? I miss my friends. I want to see them. I'm all about surrounding myself with I've just been so fortunate, whether it be friends of 40 something years or friends that I've barely just met last couple of months doing events. I mean, I love people with good souls, low drama, low toxicity. That's all I'm all about. So I will let you stop rambling, let you guys get on. But yeah, whenever you get a chance, I will post up there the Game of Life Facebook group, which is going to be, like I said, it's going to be exclusive content. We're all going to share beauty advice, love advice, sex, all of it, all the sexy things that, because the 40s is the 30s is the new 20s, the 40s is the new 30s. I don't feel 47, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, maybe it's because I'm immature. The 50s are the new 40s and so on. I mean, I have friends who are in their 50s and they are smoking. Y'all know who you are. Lan, Helen. I mean, talk about Asian stove raising. But anyway, so many topics to talk about. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'm going to try to get wrapped up so I can post it by 4 and then go watch the game. So I love you. Keep warm, y'all. Wrap yourself up in that toilet paper that y'all all hogged. And I'll see you soon. I love you all.